cheers and enjoy this. Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome wherever you are in the world once again to the channel with me, Disco, coming at you with another live beer review, or rather live set of beer reviews from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm still celebrating and calling the Disco Arms. Yes, Thursday Tipple. I know, unusual. Don't normally get one away on a Thursday, but didn't manage Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I thought I'd pop in and see who's about. I fancied a few beers this morning. I wasn't into work early. I haven't had a particularly taxing day work-wise, so I thought I'd get back in time to put a few beers together. Henry 420, as always, thanks for popping in earlier. What happened to Wednesday stream? Yeah, no, Wednesdays. I don't normally get a Wednesday stream away very often. It was only last week because it kind of fell on Wheat Beer Wednesday and not, again, having a heavy day at work. So it's normally Mondays and Tuesdays, really. I'll try and do one on a Thursday if I can, because who knows, I've got enough beers to be getting through to do it. And I still have, and I've still bought more beers last week. And obviously I've got beers this week to do. So I guess let us, in the time on fashion, step straight into the first one. I'll tell why I'm talking about these particular beers. You know, they have some kind of theme. It's a very loose theme, I suppose. And obviously I put a slightly clickbaity title up. Whenever you talk about births and deaths, but there you go. Let's go to beer number one, please. And beer number one. Yes, beer I have done before, but not in video review. Been around on the Instagram. As part of a Disco Day 10. Again, terrible can to put on because you can't read it very well, but it is from a Dark Revolution. It's called a Disco Juice. If I remember to put up the banner. We'll see what it is. 6.7% hazy IPA. Enjoying some hazy IPAs of late. From Dark Revolution. Featured them quite a lot since I got quite a big order from them way back before Christmas. As I say, this is from Disco Day 10. I keep doing this, collecting the beers with a disco in the name because these things amuse me. You know, the channel is called, obviously, Just Disco. It was Rasko and Disco, but so I collect these beers with disco in the name, and these things amuse me. So I'm up to about 60 or 70 beers with disco in the name so far. Going to try the can balance again on this one because it does help with the silver and black kind of writing. Let's hope I don't nudge the table there. There you go. No photograph reminders, but I managed to remember this one myself. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So I'll take this down now whilst we think about it. Put it on Instagram tomorrow if I get a decent picture away. There's no guarantee because it is very brilliantly white and yellow on it in the glass there. Looks good, looks proper. Sherbety, juicy, pillowy. Like I say, I've had this one before. I haven't gone and, like I say, back down in January, so I haven't gone back and looked at the review yet. It's pretty hard to find on Instagram. But it's there somewhere. Way back from January of this year. I'm only doing it again for reasons that may or may not become apparent later on at the end. Let's do that before I nudge the table. There you go. So yeah, 6.7% hazy pale ale. I do remember that of the 5 beers I had on Disco Day 10 way back in January. This is probably, I think, if I remember rightly, my favourite. I do try not to pick favourite beers, but sometimes when you got to set a fire with disco beers, some stand out. This one particularly did. So yeah, nice. Very pillowy, soft kind of head going on, with a kind of very lemon meringue pie kind of looking body. Very, very hazy. Can't see through it at all. Let's have a sniff, see what we find. A really good aroma, but fairly indistinct. It smells kind of creamy. So I'm getting from the aroma. There's a kind of hint of kind of lemon meringue pie in the background there. I'm looking forward to trying this one again. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Still tastes pretty fresh. Still tastes fairly in your face hop wise. There's no hop spike, nothing grapefruity. Yay. It's kind of, it's juicy without being particularly fruity. But it is nice and soft and smooth. That's the main thing. I think it's kind of passion fruit. I think it's a little bit of lemon. I don't know. We know I drink beers way past the recommended drinking date because I just sit them in my stash and never get around to it. I tend to keep the disco beers to the side. I usually buy them in pairs because I'll do them on the I do them on a video and then put the photos up on Instagram. What I generally haven't been able to do for the last three disco days is actually get a video away. So I'll record them and then I'll put them post a picture up on Instagram and then I'll put the video up at some time later. Haven't been able to do that for the last 3 for one thing or another, which may or may not become apparent if I ever get the videos away. So I'm staring down the barrel of another 4 disco beers coming up soon. I'd like to get the video done before. In fact, I'd like to have done the beers by now, but yeah, time is just against me. As I always say, if you see any beers with disco in the name, do let me know. This is a bit of self-indulgence. This is one of the few times I get a bit sort of self-indulgent. I always say it's all about the beers. For me, it should always all be about the beer for a beer channel. I never really want it to be about me because the beers are more fun. Beers are more interesting, I think. Anyway, I'd rather talk about the beers than me. Contrary to popular belief, I don't like the sound of my own voice. So I find it difficult kind of yammering on to myself. Really, I've said that before. So in a way, this show is kind of about me, I suppose. But yeah, I always want it to be all about the beer, really. Helps when you've got a good drinkable beer. Although this one, it's not unremarkable. I just can't really get the fruit on it. I'm not really sure what the fruit is. I can't remember what I said about it last time, so let's find out. Oh, I forgot about that bit. I didn't put it in there. Stays nice and pillowy soft in the can. Let's have a quick look at the date, shall we? Because I know it's going to be past it, and I know people that will amuse regular viewers. Where's the date gone? Where did they put them? Here we go. Oh, not too bad. Best before 04/25. So yeah, I would have hoped to have got the video out by now. Here we go. Right, Disco Juice, small batch series, citrus, lime, and blueberry. Well, I said passion fruit and lemon. Barley, wheat, oats. No other additives, obviously. I guess. So yeah, cold side, Citra Motueka and Citra Mosaic on the hot side. So Citra Mosaic in first on the boil, and then more Citra a Mochueka on the ferment, which kind of surprises me once again. Jamie, greetings. All right, yeah, not doing too badly. Hope you're having a good week, and indeed, maybe even have a beer on like I have. Cheers, sir. Thanks for popping in. Andy, anyway, he was in earlier. Hopefully, make an appearance. Yeah. So, which Mr. Wilson, greetings to you. Hope you're having a good week, and maybe even got a beer on, as I say. Yeah, we're doing this disco beer from way back in January on Disco Day 10. If I remember rightly, I'm going to have to go back and find what I wrote about it. Instagram's so hard to scroll back. Now I've got 6 years worth of content on Instagram. I always thought you could just search by using the hashtag, but hashtag disco juice creates a lot of pictures or things to return. So I've no idea what the searchability of hashtags on Instagram is, and it's really rather annoying. So I've got to scroll all the way back down the grid. And when I'm putting half a dozen pics up a week, it becomes quite a long scroll. And I've gone back to September. I've gone back past it. I don't know. I can't actually remember. I have to see a certain thing that I knew happened when I've gone past it. Yes, because that's the... Right, I've just seen the actual pic of the hall from Dark Revolution way back in November. Scandalous, I know, keeping beers that long. All right, there we go. I shouldn't have gone past Christmas. I managed to go past Christmas, really. Oh, there we go. Disco juice. Mr. Wilson is on the last of the hot peat beers. We did a few weeks ago on the stream that Mr. Wilson gifted me. Thank you very much. More gifted beers coming up soon. Hopefully, I was going to do that this week, but it'll probably be next week if I get a chance. Got to try and squeeze a lot in. See if it doesn't ruin the whole stream. There I was in January of this year with this beer. So this is a re-review. I'd be interested to go back and see what I said on the video as well, but on the video I would have said much the same as I wrote, so I'll go back and redo that video, get some edits done, and get the video out of all the disco beer from a Disco Day 10. What did I say? Being on the juice for the finale of Disco Day 10. Solid hazy IPA with excellent mouthfeel, true that. Lovely tropical fruit notes and a fruit I couldn't place and later read to be blueberry. Yeah, I'm still not getting blueberry on this one now. Lovely pillowy body, soft and juicy, nicely balanced tropical fruit with a touch of pithy bitterness on the back end, but only very light. Really enjoyable and did not last long in the glass. Fair play. I mean, I still don't get that blueberry particularly. Slightly more indistinct tropicality to it. I'm not really sure about the lime juice, but there is. It's stretching into that double IPA territory that I said about some beers a while ago, where the double IPAs go a slight vodka kind of note to it. This has kind of got that now. That soft pillowy head is staying. That head development is brilliant, lovely and soft. Yeah, really soft, almost velvety smooth body. So it's lost a little bit in those hops. See, putting Citra in it, I don't get blueberry and lime from Citra. It's kind of weird. Or Mochueka so much for that. Lime's more Nelson, but yeah, a very easily drinkable beer, this. Apart from that sort of indiscriminate fruit taste. A little bit more pithy bitterness, as it says on that right up coming through now. which I don't necessarily mind too much. I'm getting used to. It's not charging towards grapefruit, thankfully, and oddly with that amount of citra in it. Yeah, if I was partying, it's a good beer to be starting with. Do you know what I mean? It's got the strength to it. It's got the body to it. 6.7%. Pithy bitterness is becoming a little drying and cloying on the back teeth now, but still a decent beer for sure. Definitely balanced, but I want a bit more of those fruit notes coming through. I'm still not getting blueberry particularly. Simo, good evening to you. Happy damn Thursday. Hoping you're having a good one with a beer or not. Yeah, so Disco Juice. Disco Day 11 is a little bit slow to come around again this year. I'm going to try and do it in July. Around about my birthday. Not that like my birthday, but more about that later. And I do one at Christmas. But again, last year, things and stuff. And didn't do it till January. So I'm probably not going to do it in July. Might be next week, first week of August, if I can get the Friday sorted. Won't be a weekend. But yeah, I'll do it at some point, whether anybody wants me to or not. But I got four disco beers. I had vague plans for a fifth and sixth, but never got it actually sorted. So, as always, anybody sees a beer with disco in the name, do give me a shout. I'll be all ears. I'm very interested if I haven't had it already. Like I say, there's knocking somewhere. I've got to go back and I want to go back and put all the lineups together and just have needs to be a big montage of all the different lineups. So we're knocking on 70 different beers in 5 years, which, it's not something to be proud of, but it's something to, it's an achievement, isn't it? It's something. It's something. And I do still get people, Mr. Wilson particularly, Adam at Mersey Beers sending me over shouts for disco beers. They are usually already in or soon to be arriving in the collection. So I see it as a little bit of a game, like who can beat me in finding a disco beer. Mostly I stick to UK ones because mostly for ease of getting. There's one or two American ones crept in and a couple of Scandies. But yeah, these things amuse me, especially around about July. Yeah, I've got 3 videos to get out. I know what I need to do to edit them. There's one that's a complete hassle because I messed it up entirely. So I need to do a little bit of edit and probably an overdub. And there's a couple of pictures I want to add in. But that's what's kind of stalled it. The other two are much simpler. I just need to get my head around it and listen to my own voice wanging on. Oh yes, the disco cider, the wild disco cider from Nightingale, was a nice drink. I have got a can of that, and I did plan to do a Disco Day cider edition. I've got, I think, 3 ciders in. There's a 4th that I want to try and get hold of. Disco ciders are a little bit different because it's an easy name for a cider producer to bring out because there's an apple called a Discovery. So you put Discovery apples into a cider, call it Disco, Bob's your uncle, and a guaranteed sale from me if I see it. I want to get the disco beers out of the way first. I think I was going to do the disco cider halfway through the year and still never got around to it. So yeah, I think I'll do the disco beers next week if I can. That's the plan. I was going to do it tomorrow, but work calls once again. And then I'll do the disco cider. I might have to try and do that the week after because mid to late August is the return of Disco Kingdom from Turning Point. They're bringing out another 4 disco beers, new lineup. Although I don't think it will be completely new lineup because I think one will be Disco King and there'll be 3 others. I've seen the artwork or the mock-ups already, and it doesn't look like one of them's a stout. So, and one of them has definitely a picture of it's either an orange or grapefruit, and yeah, But we shall try it. I might try and do some kind of. I might try and get it out straight away if I can. Maybe the week after. I'd love to do some kind of drink along kind of thing. If anybody else is getting any, do some kind of drink along. I'd love to just drink along with Turning Point if I can get around to speaking to them and see if they want to do that. But in the meantime, it's just regular disco beers. They're all pale this year. Between pale ales and IPAs, some an unusual one, not unusual in the beer in the fact that I've got it. But yeah, I shall try and squeeze it in because these things amuse me and I want to get it done. And as we see, there's no point holding on to it. I've got too many beers that I'm holding on to. And this one, it doesn't feel like it's suffered particularly because I'm sure there's that same slightly dank now, but not like grapefruit dank, not grapefruit piff. It's just kind of slightly cloyingness at the back. Like I say, really easy drinking, smooth. I'm just, keep going back, trying to find out what that fruit is. Maybe lime pith, perhaps. I'm not getting blueberry. I don't know how you get blueberry off a Citra. Or mosaic, for that matter. It's really odd. Why blueberry and lime? I mean, the citrusy area is kind of... It's a nice type of grapefruit with a little bit of lemon. Perhaps lime. Yeah, I think I liked it more in January when it was fresher, obviously. Sort of still a good beer. You can tell it was a good beer. That smoothness, pillowiness from the oats. I kind of enjoyed it. Less so today. I probably won't put the picture up of this one. I don't need to do a picture of this one because it's already on there on the Instagram. Just adding to the collection though. But yeah, there we are. That's the disco collection. Hashtag the disco collection. Disco Day 11. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought we're on show 98? There you go. Cheers. Yeah, so Dark Revolution. I'm getting chocolate for some reason as well now. Like milk chocolate. Weird. I haven't had any milk chocolate today. Some white chocolate earlier, but yeah, kind of want to get that sort of citrusy bit away if I can. Although the next one, yeah, right. So here we go. Beer number 2, please. Beer number 2. Right, recognise that logo fairly clearly, I would think. Being from Pollys Brew Co. Up in North Wales. It's called Byth, which I think means forever in Welsh, if I remember rightly. And it's a 5% Welsh red ale. Again, can't remember why I was saving this one. I was probably going to do it on St. David's Day, and then St. David's Day came around, and lo and behold, I never got the video or the live or whatever I was going to do for this one. But it sat there in the stash, and if I remember right, this is off a Pollys order from last year. I think I've already... Just occurred to me, I think I've already bloody reviewed this one as well. So I don't need to do this photo, but let's do it anyway because I didn't do the can balance last time. Oh, that's going to be awkward because the can balance has gone over there, but that'll do. As quite rightly, I've lost my comments. There we go. Picture and can balance reminder. Thank you, Mr. Wilson, as always. Good stuff. Let's do the picture anyway, just in case. I can't remember whether I need to do this. I'm sure I've already done this, so... Well, I didn't do it as a can balance. I know that. It's a bit wonky. Much easier to photograph, even though it's quite a dark label. Yeah, got there. So yeah, got the can balance away. Lovely. Oh, you managed to sit down. Yeah, so a nice, lots of carbo in that. It's carbonation racing up the glass against the light, but it's quite hazy, so hard to see on camera. Quite a nice dark, kind of coppery red. A little bit of a red tinge to that for sure, but it's kind of coppery red. Really good head development on that. Looks like it might stick around as well. Quite soft and pillowy there going on. Had that off keg. It was great. Tasted like a cask beer. Enjoyed it from the can as well. I don't know if I need to go scrolling and find out because I don't know where or when I did this last. Maybe I got a second can of it. It's going to take me too long to scroll back and find. Glad you enjoyed it. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, right. So I did it in December of last year. And I think I didn't enjoy most of the beer, so I didn't actually do a thing of it. I didn't actually do a written review of it. So there's the lineup. Back on show 46. Up the greens. Not quite sure why I did it on a a red ale on a stream about the greens, but there you go. Yeah, I don't think I ever got around to doing all right. There's the Alter Ego that I did in the middle, and the rest of it I kind of never got around to. Maybe it's because I didn't really enjoy the beers that much. I know I didn't enjoy the mead that much. Anyway, let's have a look. It's been sitting there a while. There was a very specific reason why I'm doing this one, although I just realised it's not necessarily appropriate. Just quickly, I don't do this very often, particularly, certainly content-wise, but yeah, yesterday was a birthday of a friend of mine who passed away 2 years ago. And as a Welshman, although he was a South Walian, and he always used to say about North Walian, so it's the only Welsh beer I had, really. And although I've had it done, I wanted to do this just to raise a glass. Cheers, Kev. Yeah, there's a kind of rye note to the aroma. Yeah, cheers. This wouldn't have been is a style of beer at all, particularly, despite it being Welsh. You would have loved that, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, two absent friends. Good point. Cheers. Okay, interesting, actually. So do it that way. Cheers, Kev. Really interesting, that. It feels like it's mellowed a lot in 6 months. Feels much smoother than I remember it. There's, yeah, kind of that smooth head is really helping things along. There's no rough edges to the beer. I'm sure there was before. There's no real hop spike to it. There's no earthiness to it, but there is a little bit of kind of hop note. If I remember right, I did briefly see on the can. Yeah, I didn't read the hops, but there is a definite hop quota to this beer. It sits. I'm never sure about red ales. I tried them. I'm never sure because it sits that kind of offshoot of best bitter. And as a cask beer, I can imagine that would work really, really well. It's got slightly woody kind of notes, like it's woody in a good way. A lot of people use woody as a derogatory term for cask ale, but it's got that sort of slightly tanniny bitterness rather than a hop bitterness. Again, I'm saying because I've had a beer with actual wood and oak in it, and it gives it that kind of tanniny kind of bitterness that sits different to kind of hop bitterness, but it's got hops in it, so it isn't that. It's got nice softness to it. Amarillo, Cascade, and Simcoe. 3 hops that I always just put in those kind of craft beer hop beers that just kind of stand out for me, usually for the wrong reasons, but they've got it all right here. Best before 12th of the 12th, 2024. Like I say, it's been sitting around in my stash for a while. Doesn't feel like it's suffered. It feels like it's actually improved it. So I will, if I ever get the thing done, I will try and mention that when I get the picture up, because it feels softer, smoother. Normally when you leave a beer, it gets a little bit harsher. But this is, definitely well mellowed. I often think it's a good thing. I don't remember there being a massive earthy hop spike in it last time, but it doesn't seem to be that here. It is very drinkable. It's got that smoothness helps. That head development, big soft pillowy head. It's dissipating a little bit now, but it helps that drinkability. It helps that kind of very, very slight rough edge I always find on a red ale. It's a kind of not quite licking brown sugar, but that kind of rough outer edge to a beer, to a very soft scented beer. It feels much nicer now. Again, there's a slight dark malt note to it. Not quite chocolate, but definitely that kind of slightly more roasty kind of malt going on. Without any roast bitterness, to be fair. There's that kind of slightly woody note creeping in, that kind of slight tanniny kind of bitterness creeping in now. I don't know if they do this on a regular basis. I definitely saw it about a lot last year. And obviously if Mr. Wilson had it on cask and keg, I don't know if it's a regular beer. I've looked at Pollys' website a lot, so I wasn't going to queue it up. And also, every time, I don't know what it looks like now, but looking back at these streams, every time I click over to look at a brewery website and share the screen, it seems that the visuals go all mashed potato. The last week's stream really, really annoyed me, and partly why I didn't rush to do one this week, because I did the Wheatos beer last week and I looked back on it and it just looked terrible. It just I don't know. I don't know if it's my internet or StreamYard, because I've been moaning about StreamYard quite a lot through StreamYard. They offer me a 40% discount. I'm like, no, I don't want a 40% discount. I want to have the stuff back I had when I didn't pay for it. Why am I still suddenly have to pay for it? Anyway, what was I moaning on about? It looks all a bit mashed potato. See, on my screen, it's difficult for me to tell because it looks at least in focus. So I don't know what this is coming through like when it actually comes through on YouTube. So when I look back on it, I get really annoyed, and I'm like, not to a point that it's the death of the channel. I'm like, I want to give up, because I've still got all these beers and things to talk about that I find interesting in the hope that everybody else does. So it's going a little bit about me again, isn't it? I know. So this is not a rant particularly, but yeah, I'm not easing up, but I've only done one stream this week, and that's for, like I say, that very good reason, because last week's stream kind of annoyed me, not in the fact that people walked up and joined in and gave the comments and we had a good laugh, but just the quality of the output just kind of annoyed me a little bit. Let me know what you think. Am I a mashed potato again? Am I out of focus? Or is my internet doing okay this week? Maybe it's because I did 3 streams last week. It just struggles after a while. I don't know. No, I'm not struggling with that beer. That's I'm necking that. I was kind of saying earlier. I've put the stream up and I'm feeling it a little bit. I haven't been into work today. Done a bit of cleaning, as you do, and I just felt a bit knackered after dinner. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know if I want to have a beer or not. And I say that was the other thing about not doing streams this week. I didn't fancy a beer on Monday and Tuesday. I had a beer on Tuesday in the end, watching the football. That's another thing this week, isn't it? Watching the football. Kind of enjoyed that. It was an exciting game on Tuesday night. And there's me. I went to watch it with my parents. Didn't take any beer with me because I just wasn't feeling it. And then I nipped into Tesco's, and it was just, I'll have a bottle of Erdinger to watch the football. Do you know what I mean? I think I don't know if it's like a done thing. Should I be watching the England game drinking a German beer? But it's a fair, decent German beer. All right, Erdinger, again, divides opinion. But yeah, I sat there on Tuesday night, didn't fancy a beer, and I nipped over to Tesco's and I saw it in the fridge, and I thought, you know what, I'll just have the one. You know what I mean? You got to have beer watching football, haven't you? So I did, and it was an Erdinger, ironically. And then the following day, Germany didn't get through. What a shame. We've got to play Spain instead. I won't be rushing out to get any Spanish beers or non-Spanish beers even for Sunday because I'll be at work. So I will hopefully get to watch it, but I will be working at the same time. Miss Lawson had this on in May 23 and May 24, so maybe seasonal. Yeah, that would kind of make sense with the date. This is a May 24 release. Best before of December 24. I haven't seen it. We had a look at the Pollys website a while back, I think, and I didn't see it on there. I don't think this year. You think as a Welsh brewery, it would probably be their kind of one of their core beers. They've changed up their core stuff recently, I think. I'm just having a quick scroll through. There's no point in me sharing it. No. God, they've got 4 pages of beers on their website. It doesn't look great. Plus all the stuff in the supermarkets recently. Yeah, fairly simple on the artwork. I like the logo. I think it's a fairly recognisable logo now. Is it I don't know. Is it a drop of water? Or is it a tear? Something like that. Yeah, lots of good stuff on the website. More so than when we last looked, actually, I think. But yeah, I can't see this one available, so maybe it's come and gone from May. We've got a breakfast stout. I was just commenting earlier on Sammy's. They don't see the term breakfast stout about much these days, unless you know different. If there's loads of them, I wonder if that's because people don't want to be assuming the assimilation of drinking for breakfast, even though it's got a lot of breakfast items in it. Yeah, I can't see that one on the website. Seems well, we're only on beer 2. Let's see how the third beer goes now. I've been sharing a lot of screens, but there you go. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's not available this year. I just might have missed it or not really noticed it. I don't go around looking at Pollys stuff very often unless, let's see, there's a beer with disco in the name. And I've had a couple of disco beers. It's just going back to the previous beer. There is a couple that I've had from Pollys. Again, I always assume Pollys are fairly hop-heavy pales and IPAs. There's no bad thing, obviously. I've tried them and they've been all right, but I don't rush out to them necessarily. Like I say, I got an order in when they had a disco beer on. So, that's not good. Yeah, so I had red ales go. This one is nice and smooth, easily glides across the palate with that really good head retention that's staying, despite being 7 months now nominally out of date. And you know what my feelings are on best before dates. Still eminently drinkable, very palatable. A little bit of that kind of rye roughness, but it's even that smooth. Little bit of kind of dark malt bitterness. Slightly rough around the edges, but again, even that's a bit smooth. That slight brown sugar kind of element to it. A fair amount to find in that one. And like I say, that I don't know, maybe that like sometimes the beers that you leave a bit get a bit of extra carbonation development and make it either fizzier or smooth and easy drinking. And this one definitely goes in the smoother, easy drinking kind of category. So yeah, like I say, I drank it today because I meant to do it yesterday. Couldn't get a stream away yesterday because it was work, but yesterday was the birthday of a friend of mine who passed away 2 years ago. Not this time of year, a couple of months back. It was a month back. I always forget the date, but can't forget the 23rd of July, funnily enough. Yeah, so that's why I put it in today's stream, talking about births, deaths, and disco. They're all kind of relevant. So yeah, this is slightly under the death category. Oh, talking of which, did anybody see the beginning of the death of Beer Mungle? Yeah, big news this week about Beer Mungle closing 10 bars across the UK, including, I think, is a flagship one in Camden, and definitely a flagship one in Aberdeen. They're kind of local. Was that their first tap room? Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that because, as well known, I'm not a big fan of Beer Mungle. And I'm sure Dave Wilson will put in the comments what I'm talking about if you don't know about Beer Mungle. I can't be bothered to say the name. I can't be bothered to say the name of the brewery in question. Adios, Brew Prissy. Yeah, Luke John calls him Brew. Luke John, good evening, sir. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're having a great week. Popped in a wee chat on is live at work the other day, just because I was sitting there at lunchtime. But yeah, I call it beer. I call it Beer Mungle because of, well, I think it's as appropriate really, because it is a motley collection of things, and they try that whole, let's be a bit avant-garde, which is a different name for punk. I got another video idea about that this week. I said, love Shoreditch. And the manager in Camden is awesome. Yeah, that's the main thing about it. I think it's a fairly immediate closure, isn't it? So they haven't really given the staff much notice, which I think is illegal. I don't know. Maybe they told them a while back. I don't know. Maybe they'll carry on paying them. I don't know. But yeah, it's a pretty rum-do. Yeah, there we go. See, sad for the staff. Sad for the staff, but the company sold its soul and never came back from its shortfalls. Absolutely. You know, hi. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've waxed lyrical about the company, and I'm not sure there's much documentary evidence, but I hated them, or hated on them, since around about 2016. I have never paid for a pint of punk, as far as I'm aware. I've never I have tried it, I think, and that's why I know I don't like it. And a lot of their other beers, Elvis Juice, I'm not touching. I shouldn't even be talking about them. I try not to talk about them, but now you forced me into it. I have reviewed some of their beers. Like I say, back in the day, way down the grid on Instagram, there is a couple of Beer Mungle beers, mostly stouts. As back in the day where I was finding out about them, and the beers themselves, mostly stouts. A couple of their sour works beers weren't too bad. They were a bit odd, and like a weird beard or an odd beer, a weird beer or an odd beer, not a weird beard and yeah, that too. But yeah, so I have talked about them, but I'll only refer to them as Beer Mungle. I don't know whether it's the start of something worse or whether it's just those tend to cut costs, or it's or whether generally people aren't drinking there anymore, so they're not getting the revenue. I don't know. Justin, Shoreditch has already gone. Camden is going tomorrow, and the others on Saturday. Well, I, for one, will not be rushing out for the last rites. I won't be celebrating their demise, particularly, like I say, because of the staff. And like I say, last time I had one of their beers was, I think, last year, when one of my bosses handed me a bunch of bottles he didn't want to drink because they were dark beers. And I drank them, and they were all right. Again, a couple were near date, but they were big beers. Do you know what I mean? I think there was a barley wine in there. I drank them, they were okay. Maybe because they were free. Free beers are the best beer. So yeah, I will drink them. Just don't really want to pay for them. I definitely won't talk about them given the minor air of publicity that this channel could afford them. Forced upon me by Mr. Moore. Jet Black Heart is exactly what I was just talking about. Bear with me a second. Sorry, that's better. Yeah, no, Jet Black Heart was one of the earliest ones I remember. I was drinking that in 100 Club in Oxford Street. Yeah, that was all right. Although then, even so, that went a little bit. When I was drinking Jet Black Heart from 2018, 19, even when it was in supermarkets, but I think they've got to that level of production costs versus quality. You know what I mean? Haven't quite got the equilibrium right. So yeah, I remember having some fairly good quality pints of that back in the day. Cans, it's all right. But when you get to that level of production, even stouts can be bang average. You and me both, kiddo. You and me both. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of, it's very difficult because I don't want to wish any brewery particularly the death of a brewery because of all the people that are employed there. But also, as I think I stated on Sammy's stream the other day, they chose to work there without checking out a company or even, I mean, if you're a bar staff at whatever level, even if you're a bar manager, there are other breweries and pubcos that you can go and work for, I imagine, fairly easily. If you've got 6 months of experience at Beer Mungle, you could walk into even Weatherspoons if you don't care about the things, or any kind of other bar job fairly easily. The world always needs bar staff at the end of the day. So I don't have I have a certain amount of sympathy for the staff, but also they chose to work there, and you can go and work anywhere else easy enough. So I'm not wishing, I've never wished the death of Beer Mungle. They have their place, kind of, but yeah, as you say, Mr. Wilson, they sort of lost their way a little bit, and they've never really recovered from all the bad press. but people still drinking them. You see them on supermarket shelves. I walked around Sainsbury's the other day. Sainsbury's? Oh no, Tesco's. It was Tesco's, big Tesco's down in Alperton, and they have their own shelf in it's like the world food section or something. And they've just I think they've just released, or maybe I haven't even noticed, like a whole bunch of like barbecue sauces and stuff based on their beers, and then they profligate it with a bunch of other snack foods and stuff, and obviously their beers. So they've got some sway. I just, yeah. I don't. I'm not wishing their death particularly, but I'm like, I don't notice them that much anyway these days, so don't really matter, Yeah. I've had a couple of good stouts from them generally, but yeah, not wishing their death, but they need to do something. I know, like, obviously got a new CEO. I don't think he lasted long, and then they got another CEO, but there's still all the stories about this week have still been headlined with pictures of James Watt, and I don't know what influence he has, and he's the main problem. I used to have this saying, it's what is the problem at Beer Mongrel? And that wasn't a question, that was a statement. What is the problem at Beer Mongrel? Pump barbecue, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't look too long. I'm like, normally any other brewery I'd have been, oh, this could be a bit of material, this could be a bit of content. I looked at it and went, yeah, just not interested. But yeah, anyway, Pollys and Byth 5% Welsh Red Ale. If they do it again, I'd have a look, and I would love to see a pint of it. Certainly on cask. It's been different to when I had it 6-7 months ago, and very palatable. So yeah, once again, two absent friends. Cheers, Kev. Cheers, all. Very drinkable, very solid red ale. That. Well, in that case, as is the tradition, let us move immediately on. It's time to press in on, if I can find it, to beer number 3, please. And beer number 3 is, well, I hope the showpiece. I like the can. And it is from a Vocation brewery, out that Vocation box I got a while back. I mentioned it on the show several times. It's called simply Birthday Cake. And it is a 6% a chocolate stout. I never noticed that. I actually genuinely thought it was going to be higher ABV than that, but 6% is fine. I've got to go work tomorrow. Yeah, let's do the pour. Well, I got the bowl glass out because it was a stout, but not high enough ABV for that, really. But I love a chocolate stout, as you know. Hope this is going to be a good one from Vocation. Again, lots of discussion about Vocation recently. Off that box I got. I put it in a bowl glass because I kind of suddenly prefer stouts off the bowl glass. Shall we see if we can do the can balance? There you go. I think there's just about enough there to do that. Oh no, I think I've paused it. No. Oh no. Oh no. No, I think I paused it up. No, I haven't. There it is. Ta-da. Gently, Disco. Gently. Again, lots more on the pillowy head situation with this one. Let's put the laptop down again. Fortunately, I haven't done the can balance right. It's kind of facing away, so I don't know if that's actually going to work. Looks a bit drunker. No, that works. That's okay. Whoa! Oh, I nearly shit the bed there. I thought that was all over the fucking laptop. So not only have I got a can balance, I've got, I don't know, what would you call that? It sat up. It sat back down and stayed. It's like that bottle flip thing, isn't it? You flip the bottle and it kind of goes back and stays up. I genuinely thought that was all over the laptop. I nearly... but yes, there we go. Thought I'd fuck that. But anyway, there we go. Oh, banner. Don't forget the banner. Right, yes. So it's called Birthday Cake. I don't know if it is a birthday beer from Vocation. Can't remember. I might actually have to have a go and have a look on the website. I'll get it all in a glass, but there you go. Yeah, so birthday cake. I did briefly contemplate. I did mention earlier about birthdays in July, and I don't really care for my birthday that much. It's an excuse to go for a drink, but then so is every day, including days ending in a Y. So yeah, it's my birthday on Sunday, and I don't generally care for it, but I usually do something or other. So I'm doing it today by having a beer called Birthday Cake. I didn't actually have any birthday cake as such, because you can eat birthday cake all year round. You know, you don't have to actually be about. You can literally just walk into a supermarket and buy a cake, and it might have birthday cake on the label, on the packaging, but it's just a cake at the end of the day. I wonder if this is just a beer at the end of the day. I did think it was going to be a higher ABV, but let's have a look. Again, lovely, really almost ice cream frothiness going on there. Looks very Vault City. Let's have a little sniff. So I'm imagining how this is going to be tasting, and that's bad. I'm thinking layers of luxury chocolate gatto, and I think that could be my downfall. Let's have a little look. Cheers and happy birthday. I didn't check out how it pours, but yeah, fair play, Miss. Fair play, Luke. Good night. You well. Have a good work. So it's 14th to 16th of November. I will note it. Please remind me again, though, but I will note it. And if you can pop in, do let me know on the usual channels. We'll sort something out, of course. Of course. Yeah, take care. Have a good Friday. Have a great weekend and enjoy whatever you get up to. Cheers, Luke. Thanks for popping in. Okay, this beer, I so wanted it to taste like actual chocolate gâteau, and it does as far as the chocolate goes. It's odd because it's a little thin on the body, but that really frothy, fluffy head kind of helps with that kind of cakiness. Hasn't been in the fridge, so it's got the warmth anyway. It's a little bit of roughness there, a little bit of, not quite brown sugar, but kind of chocolate, bitter chocolate roughness. It is by no means the best birthday cake chocolate stout. It's got a good chocolate note. It's more dairy milk chocolate than some kind of high quality. Sometimes with that supposed high quality chocolate, you get that kind of chocolate bitterness. Not really any coffee, which is all right. That's fine. This Vocation was found thin when I used to drink them. Yeah, I don't think they used to be. I think it might be controversial. It might be another thing where I've seen the size of Vocation's tanks because, you know, gone into supermarkets. This is not supermarket beer, I don't think. But they go into supermarkets, so they've got to get that production size. I don't know what the production size on this beer is, by the way, but it feels that they've sort of, again, talking about beer mongrel who have sort of gone all in on bottom line a little bit. Vocation haven't so much, but there's a lot of supermarket beers where a lot of people moan about their supermarket beers that they've gone a little bit bottom line. And the bottom line, you get the bottom line when you start leaving stuff out. Stout doesn't have to be thick and voluptuous and Guinness like or jet black heart like. It's fine if it's a little thin sometimes. If you've got the flavour there, this has got the flavour there. So don't get me wrong, I'm all right with that. It's just when you see birthday cake for me says thick chocolatey cakey goodness. This is halfway to that. I say that head is dissipated a little bit now. It's got a good chocolatey flavour. Kind of milk chocolate, a little bit of dark chocolate, but it's not. Some beers sometimes unexpectedly end up having an actual mouthfeel of probably a bit of oats. So it's a kind of actual chocolate gatto. This tastes like chocolate gatto without having the mouthfeel of chocolate gatto. That kind of cakey kind of goodness. Definitely chocolatey goodness though. If this was a birthday cake, I'd be like, it's all right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like one for like rich decadence, right? If you give me do you remember Sarah Lee's chocolate gattos in B Jams as it was or Iceland? I used to love the chocolate cream on that. It was like, it wasn't decadent, but it was fondant. It was nice. So that's what I imagine when I think chocolate gatto. Cheap, cheerful, but full of flavour, full of body. You know, this is definitely got the flavour. It's not well backed up by a body, but it's also, it isn't actually massively sweet, which is some people would say is a good thing because I've never found a beer that's too sweet yet. It's nice. It's nice. It sits well at 6%, actually. You know, I was thinking it would be higher, but then sometimes you don't need that 8-10% necessarily. Some people say 6% too high, but yeah, I like it. It's not amazing, but I quite like it. It's definitely got a bit of flavour. Like I say, I bought the Vocation pack on the strength of their white stout. What I also have, and again, I've spent 2 months not getting a video out about it. One of my old school favourite Vocation beers is the Blueberry Pancake Breakfast Stout. And I've got 2 of those in because they brought it out a couple of months ago. And I wanted to revisit it. And they've just sort of sat there. Breakfast Club, it was called. Do you remember Breakfast Club? The Blueberry Pancake Chocolate Stout. Breakfast Stout. And I want to go back to it. I've got to find an afternoon where, I mean, stouts are in the summer as well, like when it gets dark and a bit cooler. Maybe I should need to do that on a live stream. I really like that beer. That was one of my earliest revelations almost in craft beer, that craft beer wasn't just about hoppy pale ales, it was also about adjuncts, and stouts could be involved in that. And I think that was pre Siren. I think Vocation Breakfast Club, because my mate lived over. Was that Rasko introduced me to that? Was it the Rasko or Jim? Not sure. Anyway, yeah, Breakfast Club was a solid stout back in the day, and then they didn't have it for a few years. I think they're on to like version 3 now, or version 4. So I've got a couple of cans, and I've got to do that video because I really like that beer, alongside Siren's. What's Siren's Breakfast Stout? Fuck. God, this is stronger than I thought. Ooh. But I like a stout. I like a stout. Fake aroma, fake flavour, heading in the same direction. Right. Fair point. I'm not necessarily against fake flavour, even though I had that rant. Broken Dreams. That's the one. Broken Dream. I'm gonna forget that. I'm drinking this since 2018. I haven't had one for a while. Yeah. Stein's Broken Dream. Not quite the original Breakfast Stout for me, because Breakfast Club slightly preceded it, I believe. 2018, 2019. Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. It's difficult because the Vocation box I got in was based on that white stout, but which is in the supermarkets, and I'm not sure whether that's fake flavors, natural flavorings or not. I'm not sure what's in that. Although we did look at that when I did it on the thing. That's why I went out and bought another couple. And in fact, I bought another one in the supermarket the other week just to have randomly on a night out. Yeah, I'd love to know what the quality testing is at Vocation. I've said this before, is like all sitting around trying this and going, yeah, it'll be all right. Well, they'll never notice, but there is a little bit of that in this, but there's also enough. It's got a bit bourbon biscuit there now. There's enough chocolate cream in there with that head development, although it's dissipated now. It's not full chocolate gatto, but it is chocolatey goodness, just about enough, I think. And like I say, I wonder what the difference is between supermarket beers that they have to do bottom line on, so they have to scrimp a little bit on some ingredients, compared to this, which, as far as I know, see, what I should do is compare this to what's that chocolate stout they have in the supermarkets, Naughty and Nice, like, because that is a proper bottom line beer. So how far that goes, but I don't want to, because I want to just taste. For me, this is all right. This is a perfectly decent stout. Could be better, but there you go. Yeah, it's not really birthday cake for me. But hey ho. Talking of which, birthdays, funnily enough, there's a lot of birthdays in July. Weirdly, I'm going to say a big happy birthday to Scott. Scott reviews things. It was his birthday today. He's the bullseye, the big 5-0, beating me by a year. Not in my head, he's beating me by 10 years, but yeah, happy birthday, Scott. And also, I believe this week also was Chris's beer review's 50th birthday. So, Scott and Chris, cheers to you guys. They're not going to watch this, so it wasn't matter. I watch their stuff occasionally. Don't have to watch mine. It's not compulsory. Don't worry about it. But yeah, happy birthday, you guys. And anybody else's birthday. In fact, anybody else's birthday I've missed this year, or I'm going to miss this year because I just never get around to it. Happy birthday, y'all. Because I wouldn't wish you a bad birthday. And secondly, so obviously I wish you a happy birthday. And of course, it's a thought that counts. And so it goes without saying that I wish you a happy birthday. Even if I only think about it and don't actually say it. You know what I mean? Yeah, happy birthday to everybody. So there we go. That's why I've done these 3 beers. Births, deaths, and disco. Hopefully, because if I say it, and I say it enough, that means I'll actually get around to doing it. So hopefully get around to doing Disco Day 11 with the 4 beers I have. And then I think after that, I might just do them individually. I might not do a whole Disco Day, because collecting them and storing up is getting bad, because I started in February. So I've got 4 beers, 2 of which are 6 months old. So I don't know, maybe I'll just do them individually. I've got 2 beers. There's 2 breweries that are doing design your own beers now. So like Hopper did for Hopper Ale, I might just do some disco beers. I've been talking about. I mean, I referenced it on a live a while back, so I might do that if I can get the design out and sorted. I can find a couple of hours to actually do it. If not, who knows? Shit happens. Just enjoy it, innit? Just cheers and enjoy the beers. So yeah, this one, Vocation 6% chocolate, birthday cake chocolate stout from Vocation Brewery. That'll be enough for me wanging on, because contrary to popular belief, as I said at the start of the show, I don't like the sound of my own voice, but I will talk about beer for your delectation if you all will pop in again. Let me know in the comments below if you're watching this after the event. If you're watching now, pop the comments to the side as you have all been doing. Specifically, Mr. Yeah, get Paravel to do one. Well, I have been promised a beer called Very Disco, even though we've done one already, but I've been promised one. Whether we have to sit and work that out, but yeah, we'll have that conversation very soon. Probably be next year now, but yeah. But yeah, thanks everybody for popping in. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. No idea what I'm doing content-wise over the weekend. As always, no idea what I'm doing next week. Show 99 next week, so I should have some chocolate stuff for that, really, shouldn't I? And then I'm planning to do something big for show 100, but I've no idea what yet. So it might be show 99 next week and show 100 the week after. I might just thin it out a little bit. Need to be grapefruit heavy. I don't fucking think so, sir. Chocolate and grapefruit do not mix. Yeah, my well-known dislike of grapefruit beers. But a good set of beers tonight. Really enjoyed the beers. I've enjoyed your company. Thanks for popping in, all of you. I'm off to play some darts, or just talk about darts maybe, on the return of Zoom darts this month. Still haven't done that show either. But yeah, thanks very much indeed for popping in. I've been Disco of Just Disco Beer Reviews, from doing more live beer reviews here in front of the cans and bottles in the bar. I'm still drunkenly calling the Disco Arms. You've been fantastic. I've been Disco. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Oh, hang on. I've got to do the outro. Where's the outro gone? Here it is. It's in a video file somewhere. Got to find it. I'll just blether until I find it. Where's it gone? Oh, bugger. There it is. All right, yes. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Have a good one, everyone. Oh, fuck. I removed the wrong thing. There we go.